Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode here on my Patreon, Keys to the Kingdom. As always, my name is Sam and I'm here to help you liberate from your flesh, define your purpose and live the life that you came here to live. That's my discipline, that's my affirmation. And that's what I stick with as the theme throughout all my videos. So I'm just still in Phuket, walking to get some food, and I thought I'd take this time to catch up with you guys and make a video and use this time to realign our energy. I'm going to be talking about activating the 7 chakras. The word chakra is a Sanskrit word meaning wheel, a spiraling vortex of energy, and underlying this human experience are these energetic portals that allow consciousness to come through into this experience. And in order for us to be in our most enlightened state, or the higher self, we want these wheels to be activating, because some people think, oh, I've had my spiritual awakening, so I'm awake now. And then it can sort of stop us from doing the work. But the beauty of being awake is that we understand what work that we're supposed to be doing whilst we're here, which is the beautiful part, right? You got to be working on yourself, because you realize that as you work on yourself, you're expanding your levels of consciousness. Look at this, I think I got bitten by a mosquito on my head. Nonetheless, here we are anyway. The weather is beautiful in Thailand at the moment because it's not so hot. There is sometimes storms, as you can see, but it's not so hot and bright and I can actually see. So that's always nice. The chickens. Chakras. So yeah, I think this is a time for us now to connect to this source within ourselves, right? The consciousness that's coming through and turning these wheels, the chakras, right? Now, I'm not going to make this too boring and go through the same things as I would normally go through, but we need to check certain things off the list to align our energy, right? And what I always like to go to, if I think, right, I want to align my chakras, what do I think? I think, first of all, the law of attraction. Obviously, the laws are electromagnetism. So you've got the electric component, which is your direct component, which is you taking action. But then you've also got the magnetic component, which is about letting go. So my intentions are to let go. So that uses the electric and the magnetic components. So my intentions are to let go as I go. So what do I let go of? We got to think about the chakras, what we got, the root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. So each thing I'm letting go of is going to activate each chakra, each wheel. So the first one is I let go of fear. And then you'd say I let go of guilt, which is the sacral chakra. And then you'd say, who's this guy following me? Got the black cars after me now. I'm only joking. So you'd let go of fear, you let go of guilt, and then you let go of shame. I let go of grudges. I let go of denial. I let go of illusions, and I let go of attachments. They are the 7 things you need to let go of in order to start your day in the highest consciousness, because we don't want to be in the past, we don't want to be in the future, in illusions, right? Guilt is normally stemming from the past, shame is normally stemming from the past, fear might be the future or the past. That's usually the future, but but anyway, it's always the future or the past. But as we move up the chakras, we're coming into the present moment, letting go of the illusions of the future. Right, so letting go of fear is obviously the root chakra. Guilt is the sacral, shame is the solar plexus, grudges is the heart, denial is the throat, illusions is the third eye, and then attachments is the crown. So what are we dealing with in the root chakra? It's not just fear, it's also your needs. What are your basic needs? So this is really important to understand. Not necessarily what your basic needs are as just a human being, but what are they today? What are your needs today? What do you need to get done today? Write that down. And then you make sure you tick that off, because every single day you've got to go through the chakras. You can't just get up and think, oh, I'm just going to go to the beach, unless there's a time and a place. Sometimes that's going to happen, of course. But every single day we've got to go through these checklists and do what's most important to us, and then the wheels in the chakra are going to be activating. So we think about what we need. That's how we deal with the root chakra, and we take care of our needs. And then we feel okay because we know everything we need to do. Like, we need to go and get food. Where am I going to eat? How am I going to make sure I stay healthy today? You know, what am I going to eat to make sure I'm on top of my health and my, you know, am I going to be able to do some exercise today? Let's just think about these things. Do I need to, you know, for me, I go to the gym. That's how I stay strong. I do my yoga. I meditate. I take care of my needs, my mind, all of those things I'm trying to take care of during my day, usually at the start of the day, because we remember we do it in a sequence. So we start with these things, our basic needs, make sure we know exactly where we're getting all those things from. And then as we move into guilt, I'm gonna come back to this video in a second, but it's getting a bit loud now with the cars and stuff. So on my way back, we'll carry on the video. So back into the video, we're talking about letting go of guilt and dealing with the sacral chakra. Now the sacral chakra, yeah, it's all about creativity. And if you think about it, we're always creating in every moment. But what are we creating? Are we locked in the past? What's this underlying energy? The underlying energy that blocks it is guilt, because sometimes we're not being creative because we feel guilty about something we've done in the past. And it's hard for me to talk about guilt at this time because I haven't felt guilty in a long time. I feel good. I guess there's subtle different levels of it. There's more severe times where I've felt guilt in my life, and there's less severe times. And you've got to deal with the details. Sometimes it can be just subtle things that you're carrying along that's now breaking you out of that creative energy. So that's important to just check with. But let go of the guilt. Realize that today's a new day. If maybe you lied to someone and you need to tell them the truth, then just reflect things as they are. Like, be truthful from now on, because the truth is always a solution. Like, for example, I lost my phone recently, and a friend of mine is, luckily, he owns a hostel, and someone left their phone there like 2 years ago, and no one ever came back to collect it. So they've just got this phone that's locked that they can't use, and it's, I think, an iPhone 13. And he said, Sam, if we could get it unlocked, you could just have that and use that as a phone. You know, he's really trying to help me out, which obviously I was like, great. You know, but then he obviously didn't want to take it into a shop and look like a thief that's just stolen some phone. And obviously it's illegal to just unlock someone else's phone or whatever and just reset the factory settings. So I was like, he was, you know, confused with what to say. And I said, well, you've just got to tell him the truth. It wasn't really a very hard solution. Just say the truth. I've got something on my nose. You just got to tell them the truth, because the truth wasn't that we were stealing it, was it? That might be what you thought if you didn't know the story. So if you tell them the story, then you solve the situation. So always tell the truth, because it always gets you just through the current of energy with more clarity. Okay, so the next thing is your solar plexus. So remember, be the leader, be courageous. We're letting go of shame. Sometimes Someone I'm close with who started a YouTube channel recently had this problem and was speaking to me about it. And it's where you make a video or something and you listen to it back and you don't really like your own voice maybe, or this is little subtle signs of shame that's blocking our confidence and therefore the actions we're taking and the results we're getting in life. Sometimes you don't want to start the gym, for example, because you're ashamed of what you look like now, but now you're not taking the actions, you're never going to change anything because of that shame blocking you. So you've got to let go of that shame and get to it with whatever it is that you want to do. Even if it's going to talk to that pretty girl or person that you're interested in, you've got to let go of that shame. Stop thinking about, it's just your own ego that's worried so much about what you look like in certain situations. Like for me right now, got bitten on the head by a mosquito, maybe it doesn't look so good, so that's just my own ego. Just make the fucking video and get on with it, right? But it's the same with creating just in general. I want to carry this video on, so I'm going to carry on my walk. So what old school little place where I am. It's really cute. I'm trying to show you too. So in regards to the solar plexus, you activate it by just taking full responsibility back for the situation that you're in right now. I'm trying to get the camera straight. Yep. Take responsibility back and take leadership of the situation. Just say, right, let's get it done, or whatever it is you got to say or do, or whatever's holding you back, you got to just take charge. And that's what lights up that inner fire. A lot of people think, oh, when shall I start the gym? Because I'm not eating very good at the moment. I don't want to start the gym if I'll be working out and I'll get exhausted and might not be getting enough protein or calcium. Or look, just go to the gym. Just go. That's how it all starts, by just start. That's the first rule of starting the gym, for example, is just go. Rule number one, just go. You might think, yeah, but I've already missed 3 days this week, I'll start till next week. No, just go. Rule number one, go. Go for it. Okay, because number one is the leadership energy, right? Independence, intuition. Okay, listen, let's move on and go higher up the spectrum now. We're going to talk about the heart, opening the heart, letting go of grudges. Let's go back this way. Letting go of grudges. Yeah, well, for a long time now, I haven't had any grudges, or haven't let anyone have grudges over me, really, that I know of, because I've healed the situations in my life that were causing that, because I'd done my shadow work and I was aware of it and how it was manifesting in my relationships around me. So I've not got a story that I can tell you of that happened recently, but I did not see my family for 5 years, and maybe a lot of that was to do with grudges that I was holding, that I was carrying. And so we have to be willing to face up to our demons in life, and that doesn't mean necessarily spirits or entities, but how the spirits and entities attach to us is through the missing holes and links in our aura. And this is certainly one of them, holding grudges to people, because the heart is, when the heart is holding grudges, the heart is heavy. Okay, and then it's blocked, and the attacks from your enemies, there's only one enemy in life, and it's the evil force that fights through people around you, attacks you through people around you, and we're back. That attacks you through people around you, through your weaknesses, remember, and your weaknesses are the aspects of yourself that you deny. So we must confront our shadows, and if there's situations in our life that we need to heal, we must take responsibility. so that we can live with a open heart. And why is this important? Because at any time, time could be up. Time is very important. Our time is very important, and you don't want to leave this plane without dealing with certain situations that have been weighing on your heart. So let's take a leap of faith, be strong, and break these generational curses. You know, be the one that stops the cycle of argument or whatever it is that you're going through. Da 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 da. I'm quite enjoying walking through the jungle outside where I live with my shopping. Now, the heart is 5,000 times more powerful electromagnetically than your brain. So the heart knows what the brain can only think of. So you got to be willing to listen to your heart, let love guide you and not fear. Be strong and let go of these grudges and things. Be the strong one. Be the strong one in your reality, in your life. Now, moving on to the throat chakra, because we're now letting go of denial. Sometimes, like I was saying, you know, you can deny yourself from speaking because you think, oh, what does my voice sound like? You know, or because someone around you is not allowing you to say no when you want to say no, and yes when you want to say yes, and respect me when you want to say respect me. Maybe it's your boss or co-worker or whoever it is. It's an excuse, because really you're the one in the power, and the power is always with you. It's just, can you be strong enough to say yes or to say no, and to say no, that's enough, I ain't having that anymore. And we're going to be, you know, because sometimes the reason why we get into these situations where someone's got power over us is because maybe they're feeding us, they're giving us, you know, money to get food or something. So now you drop your own boundaries, morals and standards. But sometimes confronting these situations is actually breaking you out of a curse. And yeah, you may experience a breakdown where you lose your job or something. That's what we're most afraid of. But with breakdowns come breakthroughs. With breakdowns come breakthroughs. So the only way for you to get the life that you truly came here to live, the truth, which is abundance and prosperity, that's your birthright. Because look at all the abundance around us. There's abundance on the trees, there's abundance of grass, there's abundance of air, there's abundance of humans, there's abundance of money, there's an abundance of everything. But we block ourselves by staying in our comfort zones and speaking up, using the tongue, the most powerful weapon on the planet. Your words are swords. Your word is your sword. If you take the S of words and put it at the start, you get sword. That's why your word is your sword. So always stick to your word and allow the internal and the external to become one. So you don't want to be, your heart is telling you to do one thing, but your head's believing something else, like a fake narrative that they feed you in the media, whatever it is. So we've got to be willing to break these curses, and this could change your entire life and your entire paradigm if you stand strong in your truth and in your light. Then yeah, you may experience breakdown that will lead to a breakthrough. You may be standing next to some jackfruit trees like me. So in doing this, you're going to break through illusions in your life, which leads us onto the third eye, which is letting go of illusions. Because the third eye is all about clarity. Clarity, meaning you know, your heart knows, and now you know that your heart is telling the truth. Now you're in a state of knowing, because your actions and your mind and your heart is all in alignment. Now you're on the right path in life. And you may experience challenges, but welcome to planet Earth. That's what's supposed to happen here. You evolve here. That's why Saturn is in the sky. A lot of people, I say this is Satan's playground, because if you don't think Satan's here, Saturn is Satan. it's the same energy that Satan uses. That's why the esoteric occult, or the dark occult, they use in their spell work Saturn energy a lot, because it can be the challenging aspect of life. But as a human, we're alchemists to deal with this situation. So we have to deal with a lot of Saturn energy here on Earth, especially at this time. But the souls that have come here at this time are also here to go through this growth period that we're going through. So if you're one of them, that's why you're a warrior amongst men, like me, because I'm one of them, and I'm going through my own challenges, or I've been through my own challenges. I feel like I'm having massive breakthroughs at the moment, and I'm in a very good place now. I'm still got my challenges, but I'm strong and confident, you know, and I know I'm on the right path, and I can see a breakthrough very close. So, you know, please send your good energy, like, you know, pray and pray for me and pray for yourself. You know, we're all in this together. You know, we're all light workers. I'm giving you my energy doing this. I want you to succeed. I want you to experience the light and love in your life that you deserve, and this is the way to do it. Awaken your chakras, and you will start to see more clearly. And then you also you're going to be tapping into, when you're breaking down illusions and seeing more truthful, when your third eye's open, you're going to see through, obviously, the actual veil of the matrix. So now you do start to see, you know, you'll start to get intuitive messages from your guides or the soul, you know, your ancestors, but also the spirits of the land, everything. You know, you might connect with animals better. You know, you're connecting with your spirit guides, so you can do tarot readings and things. And things just flow better. You start to realize when there's a synchronicity, and, oh, hang on a minute. If there's a synchronicity, I should pay attention to my environment. What's going on right now? What are the thoughts I'm thinking and stuff? It's a little awakening, little key item again, but it's a synchronicity. Key experience. You know, you start to become more aware and tuned into your environment. You get more sensitive, more senses. Everything's better, you know. And you get in this connection to the source. Now you know. And when you know, then the crown chakra opens, and you let go of attachments, and you just go with this journey. Like, I'm not attached to the outcome always being so amazing all the time, or whatever the outcome is, I let go of it, is the point. And through doing that, it always works out for the best. For example, lately, when I lost my phone, at first I felt this energy just wanting to crumble inside me a little bit, because it was so many times I've had, you know, bad luck, and it feels like, oh, you know, demons are attacking me, trying to make it as hard as possible for me to do this. But like I said, I'm an alchemist, so I have to say to myself, out of this situation only good will come. And I kept repeating that. And then later on that day, my friend said that he would give me an iPhone 13, which is probably better than my phone anyway. So again, the whole reason for it, because of my mindset, we changed the reason and the result, because we were the magician in that state. We were the consciousness, the conscious creator. Let me get out of the way. So the only way to the crown is for your heart to become as light as a feather. That's why I can just walk around and people are looking at me and there's all sorts of events going on. But my heart's as light as a feather, so that I know I'm protected and guided by the source of all things. So I hope you enjoy this video. And thank you for being here. Until next time, peace and love, my friends.